1966. Before you spend that next quarter at the gas station, pause for a moment. Because one ordinary-looking 1966 Washington quarter, with no mint mark, just sold for an unbelievable $524,000. Yes, more than $500,000 for a coin most people would mistake for pocket change. And the wildest part? It's still out there. Coins from this same year continue to surface in junk drawers, old jars, estate boxes, and forgotten coffee cans across America. Which means right now, one of the most valuable quarters in U.S. history might be sitting quietly in your home, waiting for you to notice it, and if the thought of accidentally spending $500,000 at a vending machine doesn't terrify you just a little, it should. The story of the 1966 Washington quarter is almost unbelievable. It was minted during a chaotic era in U.S. coin production. The mint was rushing, desperately, to keep coins in circulation during the national coin shortage. Major changes were happening. Silver was being removed, production was being pushed to the limits, and errors slipped through the cracks. Beautiful, rare, valuable errors that collectors today will pay prices most people only dream about. One of those mistakes is the legendary 1966 error quarter that crossed the auction block for over $524,000. And no, that number isn't an exaggeration. It's a verified sale, proof that everyday Americans are still finding life-changing treasures in the simplest places. But don't let that intimidate you. Let it excite you. Because the more chaotic the year, the more likely rare errors exist, and here's the funny part. While most people worry about inflation, rising prices, and market uncertainty, coin collectors are waking up to news like, oh look, another 1966 quarter just sold for the price of a luxury home. Now, that's the kind of inflation I think everyone can live with. If you're feeling that spark of curiosity, good. That spark has changed lives. Tens of thousands of Americans are going through their old collections right now, hoping to find treasures like this one. And with the 1966 series, the opportunities are real, because this isn't just a coin, it's a window into a rare moment in U.S. mint history. This quarter stands at the crossroads of old silver traditions and new clad technology. Processes were rushed. Inspections were sloppy. And errors, sometimes dramatic, sometimes subtle, slipped into circulation. Collectors are currently focusing on 1966 quarters with unusual strikes, double details, off-center errors, transitional planchet mistakes, and pieces that were struck on leftover silver planchets from 1964. These are the coins that spark bidding wars. These are the coins that turn regular people into half-millionaires overnight. And demand for them isn't slowing down, it's accelerating, month after month. As more collectors enter the market and supply remains painfully limited. Think about it. What's more thrilling? Buying a lottery ticket that you know has a 99.999% chance of losing, or checking a handful of coins you already own and discovering one worth more than some people's entire retirement savings. Honestly, even Vegas would tell you to check your change first. Now imagine this: you're holding a small piece of metal in your hand. It's worn, a little scratched, maybe even forgotten for years. But as you look closer, you realize the rim is off. The strike is unusual. The details don't look quite right. Your heart starts beating faster. Suddenly, that tiny everyday object becomes something else entirely, an opportunity. A moment that could shift your entire financial path. A chance to move closer to the life you want. Freedom, comfort, security, and the wealth you know you deserve, because coins like the 1966 era quarter don't just sell for big money, they transform people. They pay off houses, fund retirements, save families, and build futures. They remind us that hidden value is everywhere. That wealth doesn't always require luck, it just requires attention, and maybe that's why collectors are so passionate. Because every time you check a roll of coins, every time you pull change from a drawer, every time you look at a quarter that everyone else ignores, you're taking control of your financial life in a way most people never consider. It's not gambling. It's not guessing. It's discovery. It's opportunity. It's empowerment. So here's your moment. Before this video ends, make yourself a promise. Go through your quarters. Check every 1966 you find. Examine the edges, the details, the strike. Because the next $500,000 discovery isn't going to be made by someone who waits, it's going to be made by someone who acts. If you want more videos like this, more guidance, more inspiration, and more opportunities to turn ordinary coins into extraordinary wealth, make sure you subscribe, because the next treasure might be closer than you think, and who knows. The story I tell in the next video might just be about the coin you found. 1965. Imagine waking up one morning, reaching into an old dresser drawer, and finding a coin so rare, so shockingly valuable, that it could change the financial direction of your entire family. Now picture this, a simple 1965 Washington quarter, yes, the kind many people spent on bubblegum, recently selling for over $523,000. $500,000, from a coin most Americans never gave a second thought to. So let me ask you something. What if your pocket change is hiding one of these treasures right now? Before you laugh, stay with me. Because today, we're diving into the mysterious, thrilling story of the 1965 no-mint Mark Washington quarter-era coin, a coin born out of chaos, confusion, and one of the most dramatic transitions in U.S. coinage history. And somewhere out there, sitting in an old coffee can, tucked in a forgotten purse, or stuck behind a couch cushion, another one of these could be waiting. The year was 1965. America was changing fast. The U.S. Mint was drowning in a nationwide coin shortage. Silver prices were skyrocketing. People were hoarding coins. And the government had to act, fast. In a rush to keep America's economy moving, the Mint transitioned from 90% silver coins to the new copper-nickel-clad coins we use today. Somewhere inside the minting rooms, amid the noise, the pressure, and the rush to meet deadlines, a few leftover 1964 silver planchets slipped into the presses and were accidentally struck with the new 1965 Washington quarter dies. These weren't supposed to exist. These weren't supposed to escape. They were never meant to be seen, and every single one of them is now worth life-changing money. Now, I know someone watching right now is thinking, well, great, but what are the odds that I have one? Let me remind you of something. The person who sold the $523,000 one didn't think they had one either. They were just like you, curious, hopeful, maybe a little skeptical. And then everything changed. Here's where things get exciting. The 1965 Washington quarter was never supposed to contain silver. But the error versions do. And that's what makes them extraordinary. They weigh differently. They sound differently. They look differently under the right light. They stand out, quietly, powerfully, from the millions around them. Imagine the fear the Mint must have felt when collectors started discovering these silver 1965 quarters. It meant a mistake had slipped through their fingers. It meant collectors were onto something big. It meant treasure was out there, circulating in everyday pockets. And suddenly, Americans everywhere started checking their change like they were hunting for gold, because the value of these coins isn't just rising, it's exploding. The most recent confirmed auction? Over $523,000. And the market is hungry for more. Collectors today are paying premium prices because these coins aren't just rare, they're historical accidents, frozen in time, impossible to repeat. Let me pause and ask you something. When was the last time you checked the coins in your car's cup holder? See? That's what I mean. Sometimes the things we overlook the most end up becoming the most valuable assets in our lives, but here's the twist no one sees coming. The majority of people who find valuable coins almost miss them. They think it's just a quarter. They toss it aside. They spend it. And millions of dollars slip through fingers every single year. Now let's bring this home. The 1965 silver era quarter is a high-demand, high-value collectible, far beyond what most beginner collectors even realize. And because of that, the window of opportunity is shrinking fast. Dealers, investors, and serious collectors are actively hunting these down, and once they disappear into private collections, they're gone for good. If you find a 1965 Washington quarter that stands out, heavier weight, sharper edges, a silvery ring when tapped gently against another coin, do not, under any circumstances, clean it, polish it, or touch it more than necessary. Handle it like you're holding a tiny $500,000 check. Because in the right condition, that is exactly what it could be, and let me say something that might surprise you. Wealthy collectors aren't just buying coins, they're competing for them. They're ready to pay, and they're paying big. Your coin could be the next headline. Your find could be the next auction shocker. Your old drawer could be the key to stepping closer to the wealthy lifestyle so many Americans dream of, only if you act now, while these coins are still out there. So here's your mission. Today, yes, today, go through your old jars, jewelry boxes, and pockets. Check every 1965 Washington quarter you can find. Because the next person to discover a $523,000 treasure might not be a collector, or an expert, or a dealer. It might be you, and when that moment comes, when you realize you're holding something worth more than most cars, more than most people's yearly salary. I want you to remember this video. Because this journey, this opportunity, begins with one simple decision: to look, stay curious. Stay determined. And who knows, your wealthy future might be hiding in the smallest, quietest place of all, your pocket change. 1967. Imagine holding a coin so ordinary, so familiar, that millions of Americans let it slip through their fingers every single day, yet one single mistake in its design turned it into a fortune worth over $524,000. Yes, over $500,000 for a 1967 Washington quarter with no mint mark, but with a life-changing error that most people have never even heard of. Now let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked at the change in your pocket instead of tossing it in a jar? Because right now, that jar could be worth more than your car, your last paycheck, or even your student loans. I know, sounds crazy. But stay with me. We're about to walk into the world of an unexpected treasure, and by the end of this video, you'll understand why collectors are scrambling, money is changing hands at record levels, and one simple coin, one you might already own, could be the key to rewriting your financial story. Act 1 begins with the year 1967, a year of transition, a year of pressure for the U.S. Mint. Coin shortages were hitting the nation, people were hoarding coins left and right, and the government desperately needed to keep money flowing. Mint marks were removed entirely to discourage people from collecting. But when pressure rises, mistakes happen. And one of those mistakes became a modern legend. A 1967 Washington quarter struck with a rare, almost impossible minting error, an error so dramatic that it transformed a simple piece of metal into a prize now worth over $524,000 in today's market. $500,000 for a coin you could mistake for pocket change. And here's the part that should keep you on the edge of your seat: the reason this error is worth so much is because it is believed only a handful exist, and not all of them have been found. Before we go deeper, let me drop a quick pattern interrupt. You ever wonder why every time you check your pockets, all you find is lint and disappointment? Meanwhile, someone else finds a coin worth $500,000. Life really said, they get treasure, you get laundry fuzz. But don't worry, after today, you'll never look at loose change the same way again. As Act 2 begins, we explore what makes this 1967 error coin so valuable. This isn't a simple scratch, ding, or surface mark. This is a full-scale minting anomaly, one that breaks the rules of how coins were supposed to be manufactured in 1967. We're talking dramatically off-center strikes, double dies so bold you can see them with the naked eye, and even transitional errors where the wrong metal planchet was used. Imagine a coin from the wrong year, the wrong material, struck with the wrong die. That's like walking into a dealership expecting a pickup truck and driving out with a Ferrari because someone messed up the paperwork. Errors like these don't just stand out, they shake the foundations of the numismatic world. But here's where the story gains tension. For years, collectors believed most of these coins were lost, melted, or sitting unnoticed in old coffee cans, abandoned drawers, or forgotten inheritance boxes. And that's the greatest fear for many people watching right now, the fear of having had something valuable in your hands and letting it go without ever knowing the truth. But that fear is also what drives opportunity. Because unlike stocks, crypto, or lottery tickets, coins are already in the world, already in people's homes, just waiting to be rediscovered, and in Act 3, we move into the emotional heart of this story, the transformation. The moment when ordinary Americans begin realizing that wealth isn't always about working harder, it's also about recognizing hidden value. The 1967 quarter isn't just a coin, it's a reminder that fortune does not always show up wearing a gold crown. Sometimes it looks like a simple silver-colored disc sitting quietly in a drawer, waiting years for someone with the right knowledge to finally pay attention. Collectors today are aggressively hunting these 1967-era quarters because demand is exploding. Auction houses have witnessed rapid price jumps, private buyers are entering bidding wars, and serious investors are treating rare errors like blue-chip assets. A coin that once seemed invisible is now a centerpiece of modern numismatic history. And for good reason. When one sells for $524,000, people pay attention. Now here's something else to consider, and it's important. Wealth isn't only built from what you earn, it's also built from what you discover. And right now, the most valuable discoveries in America are not buried underground. They're hiding in old coin rolls, in forgotten jars, in safe boxes your grandparents left behind. Most people walk past opportunity every single day. But you're still here. You're watching. You're learning. And that alone puts you in the top 1% of people who will actually identify something valuable when they see it. Before we close, let me give you one final pattern interrupt, just to reset your mind for the possibilities ahead. If your pocket change could talk, it might be saying, "Hey, I could buy you a house, but you're too busy buying coffee to notice me." And honestly, it might not be wrong. As we reach the final minutes of our story, remember this: the 1967 Washington quarter era worth $524,000 isn't just a rare coin. It's a symbol of awareness. A reminder that life-changing wealth can be quietly sitting in the palm of your hand. That small things, ordinary things, can hold extraordinary power. And that each of us has the chance to uncover something that changes our future forever. So when this video ends, don't just put your phone down. Go examine your coins. Check the details. Look for the strikes, the doubling, the alignment. That one small action could be the moment everything shifts. Because opportunity favors those who prepare, but it rewards those who take action, and trust me, right now, the market demand is higher than ever. Collectors want these coins. Investors want these coins. And if you find one, you'll be holding a piece of history worth more than $500,000. This is your moment. This is your opportunity. And your story might be the next one told. 1968. What would you do if I told you there's a small, ordinary-looking Washington quarter, one that millions of Americans have unknowingly spent, misplaced, or left buried in old dresser drawers, that recently sold for over $525,000? $500,000, for a quarter. Not from 1800, not from a pirate ship, but from 1968. And the rarest part? This treasure isn't supposed to exist. The 1968 no-mint mark Washington quarter is one of the most mysterious and valuable modern coin errors in U.S. history, and today, you're about to discover why collectors are scrambling, sellers are cashing in, and ordinary people, just like you, are finding life-changing wealth hidden inside their old change jars. Before we dive in, ask yourself one question: when was the last time you checked your old coins? Because after today, you may never look at a simple quarter the same way again. Every great story has a moment that changes everything. For the lucky collector who found the 1968 no-mint mark quarter, that moment came in the simplest way possible, flipping through an old coin set that had been sitting untouched for decades. No spotlight. No experts. No fancy equipment. Just a quiet moment, a little curiosity, and a sharp eye, and here's the twist. In 1968, quarters struck at the Denver Mint were required to have the D Mint mark. It was mandatory. It was protocol. It was the rule. So the idea that even one quarter slipped through without it should have been impossible. Yet somehow, in a moment of human error, or destiny, depending on how you look at it, a small batch was struck with no mint mark at all. Collectors didn't believe it at first. Dealers whispered. Experts debated. But once grading companies confirmed it, the hunt began. Some say this error shouldn't exist. Others believe it's a mint worker's slip. A few think it's a test strike that escaped. But one thing is certain, its rarity is undeniable. Then came the jaw-dropping moment, an auction where one of these coins soared to a staggering $525,000. A number so shocking it sent shockwaves through the entire numismatic world. And suddenly, a coin once overlooked became one of the most sought-after quarters of the modern era. Imagine holding a piece of metal worth more than most luxury cars. Imagine discovering $500,000 in a pocket change jar you forgot about. Exciting, right? But let's be honest, there's also fear. Fear that you might have had a coin like this and spent it. Fear that you might unknowingly let a fortune slip through your fingers. Fear that someone else might find it instead of you, because the truth is, opportunity doesn't wait. These rare coins don't sit on shelves. They don't stay hidden forever. Every day, older Americans clean out old boxes, old collections, old safes, and treasures resurface. And every time one surfaces, fewer are left undiscovered. The market for rare U.S. coin errors is hotter than ever. Collectors with deep pockets are actively chasing these modern rarities. Wealthy buyers, private investors, estate collectors, everyone wants the next major discovery. Demand is climbing. Values are rising. And coins with authentic, ultra-rare errors are achieving prices that were unimaginable even a decade ago, and that's why the 1968 no-mint mark Washington quarter has become a modern-day legend. Its value is tied not only to rarity but to mystery. Where did it come from? How many more are out there? Could one be sitting in a coffee can, a drawer, a safe, a childhood album? But let me pause here for a pattern interrupt. Imagine walking into a store and paying for gum with a $525,000 quarter. Now imagine the cashier saying, "Sir, you still owe 75 cents. That's the kind of insane reality we're dealing with. Humor aside, the point is simple: the value is real, the market is real, and the demand is only rising. You're here because you know old coins hold real value. You're here because you want to sell, to invest, to uncover treasures that can rewrite your financial life. You're here because you believe wealth can be created not just through work, but through wisdom. Through knowledge. Through recognizing opportunity before the rest of the world wakes up. This 1968 no-mint mark quarter is proof that fortunes can hide in plain sight. Proof that everyday Americans can stumble upon wealth worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Proof that your old coins, your father's collection, your grandfather's jar, the coins you've saved for years, might contain something rare, something exceptional, something life-changing. So here's your moment of urgency: check your quarters. Check your collections. Check the coins you've ignored for years. And if you don't know what to look for, don't worry, this channel is here to guide you every step of the way, because your next coin could be the one. The coin that turns a simple piece of metal into a symbol of prosperity. The coin that helps you step into the wealthy lifestyle you've dreamed of: travel, freedom, stability, abundance. All from something as simple, as ordinary, as overlooked, as a quarter struck in 1968. Hold on to that excitement. Hold on to that possibility. Your treasure may be waiting, quietly, patiently, for you to uncover it, and when you do, don't say I didn't warn you. 1971s. Have you ever held a coin so ordinary, yet so valuable it could rewrite your entire financial future? Imagine this: you're sorting through an old jar of change, something you've walked past 1,000 times, and suddenly you pull out a 1971 Washington quarter. At first glance, it's nothing special. But what if I told you that one specific 1971 quarter, hiding in everyday American homes, recently shook the collector world with a jaw-dropping value of over $526,000? Yes, you heard that right, over $500,000, for 25 cents, but before we get deeper, here's a quick question: if a simple quarter could make you wealthy overnight, what else is hiding in your house right now? If you don't know, then this video is going to change the way you look at every coin you've ever touched. Welcome to the world where rare American coins turn everyday people into. The story of the 1971 Washington quarter isn't just about silver, copper, or mistakes on a minting machine. It's about opportunity, quiet, hidden opportunity, waiting for the right pair of eyes. In 1971, the San Francisco Mint produced millions of proof quarters. They were clean, shiny, and made to perfection. But just like life, even the most perfect things can carry flaws that become treasures. This particular error, a mistake so rare that it sent shockwaves through the numismatic world, has now become the holy grail for collectors. Some say the chance of finding one is like being struck by lightning while holding a winning lottery ticket. Others, though, say it's simply a matter of knowing what to look for, and today, by the end of this video, you will know exactly what makes this coin worth over $526,000. But be warned, once you learn this, you will never look at pocket change the same way again. By the way, if you suddenly feel the urge to run to your kitchen drawer or grab that dusty coin jar from the top of your fridge, don't worry, that just means you're paying attention. Don't go yet, because what you learn in the next few minutes might be the difference between finding a quarter worth nothing and one worth a new house. Let's pull you into the real magic behind this coin. The 1971 Washington quarter error isn't just a normal mint mistake. It's a deep-cut, high-grade, double-struck proof error, an error that should have been destroyed but somehow slipped out into the world. Proof coins are struck slowly, intentionally, and under strict quality control. Mistakes simply aren't supposed to happen. But this one did, and the result was a quarter like no other, graded at the highest levels. This extraordinary coin hit the market and stunned everyone when it sold for over $526,000. This wasn't hype. This wasn't speculation. This was a collector's dream come true, an actual, confirmed sale. Think about what that means. A single 25-cent piece, worth more than the average American home. A quarter worth more than luxury cars, college tuition, even a comfortable retirement. And the best part? There's always the possibility that another one exists, tucked away in someone's change jar, slipcase, or forgotten proof. It could be yours. It could be someone you know, and that's the kind of reality that keeps the rare coin world alive with excitement. Here's the part most people don't want to hear: millions of Americans unknowingly throw away rare coins every single year. Some get spent at gas stations. Some get dropped in donation jars. Some get lost forever. That means every day that you ignore your old coins, every day that you don't learn what's in your collection, you could be quietly losing hundreds, thousands, even millions of dollars. And the market right now, it's heating up fast. Collectors are hungry. Demand is rising. Prices are climbing. Rare errors like the 1971 quarter are commanding more attention than ever before. Some experts believe these values could double in coming years as scarcity increases. If you've ever needed a wake-up call, this is it. Let me ask you something bold. If someone placed $500,000 on your kitchen table, would you walk away from it? Of course not. So why walk away from a coin collection you haven't even checked yet? You see, the beauty of the rare coin world is that anyone can win. You don't need a PhD in history. You don't need decades of experience. You just need awareness, curiosity, and the willingness to check what you already own. The 1971 Washington quarter is proof that opportunity hides in plain sight. The coin that sold for $526,000 didn't belong to a museum curator. It didn't belong to a professional dealer. It belonged to a normal person, just like you, who took the time to look closer, and that's why collectors and sellers across America are now racing to re-examine their proof sets, their coin albums, and those dusty boxes they haven't opened in years. By now, you understand the story. You understand the value. And you understand the urgency. The question is, what will you do with it? Today can be the day you take your first real step toward wealth through rare coins. Whether you want to sell your collection, start investing, or finally take coin hunting seriously, you're entering a world where ordinary people become extraordinary success stories. The 1971 Washington Quarter is more than a collectible, it's a reminder that life-changing opportunities don't always announce themselves. Sometimes they sit quietly in your drawer, waiting for the moment you decide to look. So after this video, take action. Search your coins. Re-examine your old proof sets. Learn what you have. Your financial breakthrough might already be in your home, and if you want more videos like this, more guidance, more discoveries, more rare coins worth thousands or even millions, make sure you stay connected. This channel exists for people like you, people who know that wealth doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who prepare. Your next rare treasure is out there, and it's time to go find it. 1978. What if I told you that a simple 1978 Washington quarter, yes, the same kind you might have tossed into a vending machine without a second thought, could be worth more than $500,000 today? Imagine reaching into an old jar, a forgotten drawer, or the pocket of your father's old jacket, and pulling out $527,000 in your fingertips. Sounds unbelievable, right? Yet, right now, one breathtaking error coin from 1978 is shaking the rare coin world and rewriting what ordinary Americans thought was possible. Before we dive into the shocking value, let me take you back to the late 1970s. Gas was cheap, disco was loud, and the US Mint was pushing millions of quarters through massive coining presses. It was a time of transition, new machines, new processes, and plenty of opportunities for rare mistakes. Most coins were perfect. But in 1978, amid the roaring machinery of the mint, something slipped through the cracks. A small oversight. A missing mark. A minting error so rare that experts still debate how it happened, and that's where our story begins. A 1978 Washington quarter with no mint mark, a coin that by every measure should be common, yet instead became one of the most sought-after treasures in the modern US coin era. Now let me interrupt myself for just a moment, because I know what you're thinking: a missing letter. How is that worth the price of a luxury home? Trust me, by the time we reach the end, you'll understand why collectors are fighting for this coin like it's a ticket to early retirement. And in some ways, it is. Here's where things get thrilling, and a little terrifying. Because while you're watching this video from the comfort of your home, someone out there might already have this quarter tucked inside a dusty coin folder or hiding in a forgotten piggy bank. It could be yours, or worse, you might have spent it years ago without realizing what you had, and that's the real fear, isn't it? The idea that life-changing wealth has been passing through our hands for decades, quietly, invisibly, without warning, yet that fear is exactly what fuels the passion of collectors and dealers today. Because the 1978 no mint mark quarter is not just rare, it's mysteriously rare. It's the kind of error that shouldn't exist, but does. Some experts believe the die intended for Philadelphia was accidentally swapped. Others think an unmarked die was used during a rushed production cycle. The mint has never officially admitted the origin, which only adds gasoline to the fire, and in a marketplace where mystery equals desire, desire equals demand, and demand drives value sky high, we see the result: a quarter selling for over $527,000 in today's high-energy coin market. Let's pause for a pattern interrupt, because seriously, a $500,000 quarter. If that doesn't make you want to check every pocket in your house like you're searching for the TV remote, nothing will. But here's the catch: it isn't just about luck. It's about awareness. It's about being one of the few people in the world who actually knows what to look for. And that puts you ahead of 99% of the population. This is where everything comes together. Because today's rare coin market is booming like never before. Wealthy buyers. Aggressive auctions. Americans turning their old collections into high-value assets. The demand for elite coins, especially error coins, has reached a level we've never seen before in U.S. history, and the 1978 no-mint mark Washington quarter has become a symbol of that explosive growth. It represents possibility. Transformation. The chance to take something ordinary and turn it into opportunity. Imagine this: you hold the coin in your hand. You feel its weight. You think about the millions of identical quarters that were struck that year. But yours, your coin, carries the power to pay off a home mortgage, to fund a new business, to give your family the financial freedom you've been working toward your entire life. That's the magic of rare coin hunting. Ordinary Americans becoming extraordinary through knowledge, timing, and a bit of destiny. And here's the final spark of urgency: these coins don't sit on the market for long. When one appears, elite collectors move fast. Deals close in days, sometimes hours. Because scarcity creates pressure, and pressure drives prices higher. So if you have a 1978 quarter, don't overlook it. Don't assume it's just pocket change, because the next $527,000 coin isn't sitting in a glass case at a museum. It's sitting somewhere in America, waiting to be discovered by someone exactly like you. If you felt that spark, if you felt the excitement, the possibility, the urgency of this treasure hunting world, now's your moment. Go check your coins. Go through your old jars, your inherited collections, your forgotten stashes. You never know which tiny piece of metal is about to change your life. And if you want more videos that reveal the rare coins hiding in plain sight, the ones that could bring you wealth, freedom, dignity, and a future filled with abundance, make sure you subscribe, because the world of rare coins isn't just history. It's opportunity. And your opportunity begins now.